All right. On to table 2. Oh, my camera, you made it so far. You were so strong for me.
I'm going to put this back
Let's try to make this happen.
in the less winner pile, because he's still a winner.
Right?
So we have this guy advancing. Do you know who won the other side of this bracket?
Yes. They will be going up against the red-black hollow one, which took down the green-black infect deck. We're now into the semifinals. I'm going to update all this information. Not a whole lot of time. We are running through it, but it's Burn versus Bogles. This is an uphill battle from the start. Let's go ahead and update these names, and this is going to be brutal. Burn has got a chance. It has happened. I've done it before.
Yeah.
It involves skull cracks. It involves destructive revelries. It involves deflecting palms. That's how it happens. But it's going to be a tough one. And after this, we're going to be able to jump over to our other match, which is going to be, I believe it was the gem player who won there.
Yes, it was. Yes.
I was kind of running back here to... and so it is going to be... red-black hollow one up against Jund. Now that actually should be a good one, but I think this one is going to go pretty quickly, so I wanted to really just fire through this one, line it up, and then get over to the other semifinals, build up for that finals.
Okay, so which game is this in this matchup?
This is game 1.
This is game 1.
Just
Okay, cool.
started.
Okay, cool.
They just lined up on the table as that one was finishing up.
Fantastic. So what do you think about this matchup?
It's bad for Burn. It's life gain all around. It's got all kinds of cards that just make your life miserable. It's fast. It's hard to remove those creatures. Celestial Colonnade is a buster. And it's got Leyline of Sanctity in the 75. Game 1, sure, it's doable, but it's rough.
Yeah, Daybreak Coronet. It does this Bogles deck have mainboard Leyline of Sanctity?
This deck, this one, it does have 4 of them main decks. So we didn't dodge that a little bit. In game 1, it can be very, very difficult. Eidolon becomes a key card if you can get it down early, but with no way to disrupt these enchantments. All it takes is one of the 4 copies of Daybreak Coronet. That game is basically done. That's
because it's just like one attack and it comes in and hits you so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it looks like Mike has found an Eidolon.
And it should be noted, we have seen Mike play extremely tight all day. So if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Mike with this Burn deck. He's been nailing it in all kinds of other situations when he was not favored. He's making it happen. He's throwing down the Eidolon. If he can dodge the Daybreak Coronet, there's a chance.
Yeah, but Mike and Miles Wallio are two very notorious is probably a little bit too strong. They're very well-known modern players, or Magic players in the Legacy scene. They're doing a little bit of Modern today. They're doing very, very good for themselves in recent tournaments. They both play very tight Magic. So Mike is definitely showing that off here today.
Absolutely. So we've got the Gladecover Scout and the Hyena Umbra alongside that Eidolon of the Great Revel. Unwinnable matchup. It is pretty close. It's very uncommon to see Burn overtake Bogles. It's just the pieces don't line up right. So your Searing Blazes are dead. You're paying a lot for these 2/2s that just can't do anything in the combat step. But right now, we are seeing Mike kind of get there. Both players at 17, neither player really taking a step forward. We've got Bogles with just the Hyena Umbra. Screen chat is sub only? Not from my perspective.
I don't know. Let us know in the chat.
Don't know. It's going to be a lightning bolt from Mike. He's going to go down to 15. It's down to 14. Are we seeing a lack of... What's happening on Jason's side of the field?
Yeah, it looks like he just hasn't quite found the enchantments he needs.
Mm-hmm.
On the plus side, he's being held back.
I don't know. It's going to be another lava spike. We're going to keep both of these players taken down. I go down 2. You go down 3. They're just ratcheting down. But what is going on with Jason's hand? Thank you, Jen Stakov. I really liked doing that podcast. It was fun doing the red mentality.
Does Mike have a skull crack? I could see a world in which he wins this by like Jason playing a Daybreak Coronet, taking some damage, and getting like skull crack 2 turns in a row on attacks.
What is going on in Jason's hand? I cannot imagine what 6 cards are in this hand that Jason isn't playing. Unless he is waiting purely. So the only thing that I can think about is rather than apply pressure to Mike, I kind of like turning things sideways. Maybe you've got a Rancor, kill some of these creatures. But the mentality maybe is, let's just draw a Daybreak Coronet and win.
I like that. So I think the issue also being is right now that this Glee Clever Scout is essentially blocking both of these creatures,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think he may not win the race there since he doesn't have the Daybreak Coronet. Once he finds a Daybreak Coronet, I think he feels pretty victorious that he's going to win.
Yeah, so
but he doesn't want to cast any other spells into this because none of the other spells matter, right? Only the first enchantment, the creature, and the Daybreak Coronet.
I suppose, like, you go for that one. That's at least where we definitely are at now. And I'd be curious to see if that race could have been different in a different, world.
Yeah.
If things had fallen a little bit differently, or if that kind of initiative had been taken earlier.
Yeah.
Mike's got Boros Charm in hand. Look at this at the end step. Jason's going to be down to 4.
Yeah.
That's 2 spells. All you need to do at that point is attack in with, he's got the Swiss Spear in hand. The Swiss Spear and any other burn spell is going to take it down.
I wonder if Jason was also kind of maybe banking on a turn in which, like, if Mike tapped out for a couple burn spells or whatever on his turn.
We might have seen a little bit differently.
Well, so he taps out for a couple burn spells, and then Jason can respond by, hey, I'm going to cast these 2 enchantments on my dude and kill you from 10.
There's the Skullcrack. Mike takes game 1 against Bogles.
Wow!
Not the way that you think it's going to
Fighting
go.
from the ground up.
Knew that he was up against Burn 2, took a hand that was keepable, and then that Eidolon coming down just froze Jason's gameplay. Taking that step forward was actually a step back.
Yeah.
And wasn't able to put enough pressure. I'd be curious to see if maybe Jason was too afraid
Yeah.
of it. I don't...
I think the problem being is that say he soups up Glade Cover Scout, right, and he starts attacking in. If
the backswing is sizable.
Yeah, the backswing is sizable. Early on, he's only hitting for 2, and then he immediately gets hit for 4 on the crackback. If he puts any other enchantment, he's taking 2 more from that. So he might be just behind in the race and liable to just being killed immediately.
Yeah.
I think he needed to find a Daybreak Coronet in order to win that race, and he just wanted to also make sure that he held back both creatures.
Yeah. One person asked what decks made the top 8. The decks that we saw cleared out in the quarterfinals. Thank you, Captain, by the way. We saw Bant Nightfall fall to Bogles.
Okay.
We saw Jund fall to Burn. We saw Green Black Infect fall to the Red Black Hollow one. And then on stream in the quarterfinals, we were able to see Jeskai fall to another copy of Jund that is going to be advancing forward.
Okay.
So the other semifinals is currently Jund versus Red Black Hollow one.
Okay.
We expect that one to go a little bit longer. Also, both of those players have had a bit of time on camera. Mike and especially Jason have been a little bit away from it, trying to see if we can watch this one, then watch that one.
Yeah, I
get
like
ready
this.
for the
Gives
finals.
us another take. We haven't really seen Boggles on camera today. I know a lot of people out there have by watching GP Hartford,
Yep.
but we really haven't had it featured on our stream yet today. So it's nice to get it on camera, especially because it is doing fairly well.
Yeah, and the Infect, unfortunately, it did fall. I was hoping to get it on camera in the semifinals if it overtook Dan, but of course
Yeah.
Dan's been on an unbelievable tear.
No, yeah, dude just can't lose.
So, it was actually the green-black variant using Phyrexian Crusader and
I
Inkmoth Nexus.
I love that version. The awkward thing with that version is that people forget Phyrexian Crusader has First Strike. It's like, I block it with a 3/3. It's going to kill your Phyrexian Crusader, right? Because that's how First Strike damage works. Like, well, but this is Infect, so First Strike, it's going to turn your creature into a 1/1. And then you dink my thing, and then next turn I'll be able to swing through. And it gets even scarier with Rancor.
Yep.
You're just like, yeah, okay, I just get to hit your thing, and then, like...
Live the dream.
Yeah, like you can't even block with a Reality Smasher and kill my 2/2.
Yeah. It's a very grindy version of the Infect deck.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that one's going to be one of the decks posted up on that top 8 list on the website.
Yeah, I really like it. I think that the blue versions are great. They're more combo-centric. This one's a little bit, just a hair slower, but at the cost of being a little bit more proactive and getting to really get into the weeds on discard and spot removal. And it doesn't just like fold the decks that go faster than it.
Yeah. There will be a top 8 posted at geekfortressgames.com. You can also check, there are more 1Ks coming. They're about monthly. I'm not certain what the format for next month's will be, but it could be Modern, might be Legacy, might be Canadian Highlander. We've been mixing it up a little bit, and I don't have that off the top of my head right now.
Might be Brawl.
I'm pushing for it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I played a little bit yesterday. I'm stoked for it.
Slippery Bogle.
Hey, doing the slippery thing.
This is exactly how Jason wants to kick things off.
Yeah, no leyline in opening hand, of course, which would help out a lot. But
True, that would really be a big one. What was the entrance fee? I think they're usually 20 or 25.
Yeah, I think 2025 for the 1Ks. Sounds about right.
So things that may have come in, there is an Unflinching Courage in the sideboard for Jason, so look to see that. It's going to be a 5th way for him to gain that life. Also, does have access to, actually, I think that's really it. I was like looking through, there might be something else. There's not really.
No.
Like the Seal of Primordium might come in a non-zero number because it helps out some of your cards like the Ethereal Armor, and then it can kill an Eidolon painlessly.
I really like that. It also, the main thing is it's proactive, right? You get to play it out, and then you wait for them to play Eidolon, then you blow it up. You don't take any damage off Eidolon triggers after it resolves. Yeah, I like that. So cards that are going to come in for Mike here. He's got 2 copies of Deflecting Palm. That card doesn't target, so
yep,
that could be a huge blowout. Otherwise, he's got Rampaging Frost on, which will probably come in as just a way to stop Daybreak Coronet from gaining life. Notably, Jason doesn't really have a lot of good spot removal answers. He has Path to Exiles on this board, but I don't know if he's bringing them in.
I'm not certain if I would either, especially because you wouldn't really have the read on Rampaging Frost on naturally.
Yeah. Now, it has, if Jason's been paying attention to 5-0s on Moto, it definitely showed up as a 3-of in a burn list in the main. Of course, there's none in the main here for Mike, but definitely one on the side.
Yep. And, of course, 3 Destructive Revelries.
Yeah.
That's actually going to be a big one, not in this matchup, but what you'll often see them try and do is get the Bogles player to try firing off a Daybreak Coronet onto a Slippery Bogle that has only 1 enchantment on it.
Yeah, get the 2-for-1.
Daybreak Coronet requires that it is enchanting a creature that is enchanted. If you eliminate the other one, it falls off. That actually happens anytime.
Yeah, and it's also very big, just because of how big Daybreak Coronet is in this matchup, being able to have an answer to it and making sure that they don't gain any life is pretty big, because it is really Jason's main way of really slamming the door shut, and it's pretty immediate. You know, if you get 1, maybe 2 attacks in with the Daybreak Coronet and you're not skull cracked or had it blown up, you're in some business.
Even 1 hit can pretty much end it, and we're actually seeing a Core Spirit Dancer come down. This is a really big card in this matchup, especially in a lot of post-board games. Now, there are 4 in the main deck, but the player will often really prioritize them in games 2 and 3 when a lot of the removal comes out, when people don't keep hands that have removal in them, because it is just a 0-2. Mike's got the Helix for it, but it was able to cantrip, and, 1 enchantment on that thing.
Yeah, it's just getting bigger. It's now what, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 power creature.
Yep. It's got reach, too. Don't you watch out.
Yeah, got them reach. None of these burn flyers there, Mike.
Don't you be looking to do it. So, it is going to be a hit for 5. It is a 5/3, so if Mike could maybe put down something to the effect of, 2 Goblin Guides, still not good enough, but it's a step in the right direction, kind of. Really, it's just not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, I think the main difference between, this game and last game is that last game, Mike was able to establish creatures on the board early, which really made Jason have to pull back.
Yep.
Because he didn't have the Daybreak Coronet, he couldn't comfortably make that race and win.
This time,
However,
Jason's turning sideways.
Yeah, this time Mike just has burn spells, and when you have just burn spells, you just get to slam in with this big thing, and you might as well keep doing it.
Griff Boon.
So it's now got reach and flying. I think it's a little redundant, but we'll let it solve.
Relevant against Signal Pest.
Yeah. It gets to block those super flyers now, because it gets to reach above.
Against Signal Pest, I suppose.
Yeah.
Kind of? I don't know.
So that's 6 power.
What is it? Signal Pest? That's it. So now a Signal Pest can't block it.
Yes, a Signal Pest cannot block it.
But it does have flying.
Yeah, but it could block a Signal Pest.
Oh my. This is exactly how this matchup generally goes. The lack of that Eidolon, like you said. There is a Destructive Revelry in this hand.
So the awkward thing here is that he has all these different enchantments that recur themselves.
So actually, Griff's Boon is a very strange choice to make, to be honest. Because it's the only one that comes back.
Well, Rancor comes back to hand, and then he gets recast it.
Sure.
But I agree. I would have hit one of the Umbras.
I mean, I guess there's no good choices, right? It's just not that good. Himadi, it's good to see you.
Hey, Himadi. How's it going?
Oh, that's not the card that I wanted. Let me hit save here.
Chain to the Rocks targets, right?
Chain to the Rocks?
I'm not crazy that card just says choose, yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does target, unfortunately.
Man, I was kind of excited. I hope Mike can pull this out, because I would love to see a Chain to the Rocks cast on camera. I don't think I've ever seen that card ever cast anywhere, ever.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen people try to play it when it was in Standard. and it was just not good.
I ran it then, and I've actually run it in burn decks in the past.
Nice.
Lately, who was it? Michael G. Flores was advocating for it in some burn decks.
Like, I like it, because again,
About, 6 months
you
ago.
only have mountains. Like, what is it really going to harm you? And it's like a Path to Exile that doesn't ramp your opponent.
Yeah.
It's sorcery speed, so that is a drawback, but...
It's got I think it's a lot worse in a format that has effects like Spreading Seas or effects like...
Oh, sure.
And you like having Path to Exile in that matchup, but having a Spreading Seas be just an immediate, like, get back the creature.
Yeah, it's pretty awkward. Yeah, O-Ring effects in general in Modern are a bit awkward because...
Especially with Field of Ruin also being popular, Ghost Core being popular.
yeah, that's fair.
It's just not quite where you'd want it to be. It's not a bad card by any means.
Yeah.
And I think it's just reading the cards that are popular in the format definitely becomes a pretty popular one. May, long time no see in the chat. Good to see ya. Helix going face. We're going to go back up to 7.
Yeah, this keeps him alive for a turn.
That's about it. Good call.
If he doesn't find a land, right? Because if he finds a land, he just puts Driftspoon back in, and that's still lethal. There's an Eidolon. Well, Driftspoon doesn't cast either.
So here's the awkward bit. Even if there's just an Eidolon out, like, now Mike is almost at trapped underneath his own Eidolon, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I think he's blocking.
It's the Griftspoon. The Griftspoon is going to only deal, I think, 6 damage.
Yeah.
Mike's then dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. If he puts...
Or...
Yeah, I'll just take 2 and I'll path this, and then I'll just, like, hope to draw a land and kill you.
Let's see, there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So Mike put him down to 8. I think that's right. I didn't do the math.
Also took the 1 for the Horizon Canopy. I
Right.
missed that. So he was at 11, paid the 1 life for the Horizon Canopy to go down to 10, and then the Eidolon
Yeah, it goes down to 8.
knocks Jason down
Perfect.
to 8.
We can math.
I mean, if Mike's got 2 Boros Chimes in hand.
Yeah, I guess he's not just dead. This will still put him to 1. If he found a land, Jason had him dead to rights.
Mm-hmm.
How many cards are in Mike's hand?
3?
He's got cards. He's got a Skullcrack, a Lightning Bolt. So if he finds one other burn spell that he can cast...
If the last one's a burn spell, it actually might be Mike in 2.
Oh my goodness. And Jason just found a land off the top.
Well, after popping the canopy, though.
But that's what I'm saying. He's digging for an out and he found another land. That's not good.
That is not good at all.
Is Burn going to find a way to topple the Boggle?
If anyone's gonna do it, today it's been Mike.
Wow.
Mike has just
what a
shown up.
well played game here so far.
Oh my goodness.
And now popping that Griftspoon actually seems very relevant because it took away the evasion. All right, attack you, put you to a number.
Jinskov on
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just attacking for 5, putting him to 2.
So this is a concession to also the ability of like a Goblin Guide. 2 burn spells and a Goblin Guide. Don't want to walk into that.
Yeah.
Blade Cover Scout is staying back.
Does he find his burn spell that he can cast?
I said maybe take...
No, he didn't. He drew another land off the top.
So he
is
had enough to put Jason to 2?
2.
Oh.
1 burn spell shy of toppling.
Bold from Jason.
Yeah.
I mean, we all knew that Jason had 4 of them in the 75, so I guess it's not that bold. But I think the last card that Jason drew there was the ley line.
Oh. Well, I mean, he couldn't cast it, so, like...
This is the semifinals, definitely guilty.
Wow. You gotta feel, if you're Mike, you're like, man, I just barely let that one slip away. Like, it's not your fault. You just gotta draw, but, like, he did Helix the Spirit Dancer. You were kind of priced into doing that.
Those 2 helixes were enough to put Mike to 2. Didn't actually end up, he bought 2 extra draw steps, maybe 1 extra draw step, something like that.
Like, the thought process there is that, like, maybe if you kill no, because you have to kill it. You can't let him keep drawing
Spirit
cards
Dancer?
Yeah.
That card gets way out of hand.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem, is, like, but that's the burn spell that he didn't have. Like, kind of, in theory, like, you were kind of priced into that.
Yeah.
And ended up just 2 points shy. And it's amazing how many times playing against burn, how often that's the case, right? You have a draw step, find a bolt, and I'm dead.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many times that's always been the board state.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like most of the time they have it because their entire deck is bolts. However, there are, again, a good number of games in which they don't, and that's how the deck plays.
Game 3. Game 3. Oh my god! Look at I made it to game 3 against Bogles. You gotta feel good.
Yeah, you got to game 3. I think that was Mike's game to win. Right? If you're going to drop a game in which Mike can steal from Bogles, I think that's it. Right? Game 1 he stole in a weirder fashion, right? But I feel like that was a game in which Jason's deck just didn't really work very well.
Jason
Game
stole
2,
it back.
Yeah. Game 2, Jason's deck worked the way it was supposed to. Mike played the deck as well as played the matchup as well as he could and gave himself the draw to win and just didn't get there.
Any update on the other semi? Not yet, but I am keeping my eye on it to try and be prepared. They are in the middle of a game at the moment. To my knowledge, it's a game 2, but I don't know who took game 1. I'm just going based on the timing of it. So we might have a little bit of a chance, but otherwise it might be pretty close to just being the finals coming up.
Yeah. Who do you think is favored in that matchup?
In the Red-Black Hollow one versus Jund?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that matchup enough to really have any strong conclusions. The Red-Black one is still relatively new, and I need to watch a lot more matchups to have a strong feeling about it.
I have a feeling it might be okay depending on your deck, right?
I like Jund in the matchup, I think.
Yeah, you're probably not dying to early hollow ones because they're artifacts and you can shatter them.
Mm-hmm.
But then again,
actually, I guess no, Fatal Push doesn't kill Hollow One, does it?
It doesn't. Yeah, and so that's the opposite.
Neither does
Bolt. Neither does Abrupt Decay.
I'm switching to Hollow One.
Yeah, okay. So that's the thing, post board though, if you have Ancient Grudges, which some decks are, I think he had an Abrade and not an Ancient Grudge.
Gotcha.
Find his deck list.
I think because I was like, Tarmogoyfs are bigger, but no, all the removal misses all those creatures.
Yeah,
Bolt,
he's got
Fatal Push, Abrupt Decay, none of those are actually going to do anything.
Yeah.
I think Hollow One might take it.
He's got a couple Anger of the Gods, so I could see a world. I don't think it's horrendously disfavored.
Looks like chat's in about the same.
Yeah, it feels very 50-50, right? But the Hollow ones I don't think are how you're going to lose if you're Jund. I think you're going to lose to Gurmag Anglers and Recurring Beats.
I think it's just all of them. I think it's the fact
like
that none of those die to anything. So if you get the removal spell for one of them, all the other ones.
That's fair. Yeah, and he only has one Ancient Grudge, which is pretty awkward. The last up can kind of stave off against some of the smaller dudes. He's got a couple spell bombs that'll help him out a little bit. Kitchen Finks I think actually will help out that matchup a lot.
A little bit. It's still a 3 to power against a whole field. It's good. It gains life.
It gains life. It gives you a couple draws, and that's what I think that the deck needs if you're done. You just need to be able to draw a few more extra cards, be able to find more draws, answer out. It can also offer some weird double blocks where you block with a 4/5 Tarmogoyf and a Kitchen Finks, right? They kill the Goyf and then you get to keep your Kitchen Finks, or they kill the Kitchen Finks and you get to keep your Goyf. I can see worlds in which that's a case of things that you want to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
The Hollow One deck is also very land light and has a lot of non-basics, so the Fulminator Mages could come in and do work.
Maybe.
I don't think they're great, but I could see maybe a world in which that's the thing. Again, I haven't played the matchup enough as well, but I'd favor the Hollow One, but barely. I think that Jund has a very clear line in which they could find their way out.
Yeah, I'm worried. It feels like it's got to be Hand Disruption than Tarmogoyfs.
Yeah, and Hand Disruption on the play is pretty big because you get to yank out all their discard.
You don't get to be on the play.
Yeah.
Dan's the top seed.
Not in game 1, but if you win game 1, be on the draw for game 2, and on the play for game 3, that's kind of where you want to be at. Yeah, it seems awkward.
It does seem awkward. We've got a pretty hefty mulligan here from Bogles. What's the classic joke about what's Bogles' worst matchup?
What's the worst matchup is?
Your opening hand.
Oh, yeah, I like that, yeah.
The mulligans are
yourself.
The weakest part of the Bogles deck is its opening hand.
Where is this card? Why is this here?
I don't know. I think that was a scry, and then just he might have accidentally seen an extra card, and so just
Oh, okay.
Just shovel it up.
Mold of 4. No worries. I got a ley line. Go.
Mold of, I think 5.
Oh, 5, yeah.
Yeah, mold of 5. Well, I guess functionally a mold of 4 because you've got a ley line. This does shut down a hefty bit of Mike's deck unless if he kept the hand with creature turn 1, turn 2, Destructive Revelry, the dream is lived.
Yeah, it looks like he does have a Goblin Guide.
So one thing that's also making me think that this is less likely to be the case is actually Mike going for a basic mountain turn 1. To me, that's either that he's got one of these non-basics in hand already.
A Stomping Ground.
Exact. But this
or
is...
another fetch.
If the Stomping Ground is in hand, I could see this being the play. Otherwise, you probably want to try and set yourself up to have all of the possible colors on turn 2.
It looks like he has another Arid Mesa, but no... Oh, no, he's got the Stomping Ground. It's in the back of his hand.
Okay.
Perfect. He does not have a Destructive Revelry. He does have a Boros Charm. So, oddly enough, Boros Charm can still act as a burn spell in this matchup.
Yep.
By giving a creature double strike.
It's
There's a deflecting palm.
so Mike has
But
got
does deflecting palm doesn't target the creature? Does it target the player?
no.
No. Okay. It just doesn't target either source.
Yep, it's Source's controller.
Perfect.
But is this going to be a game that might be decided? Like right now, note that like
No
we just
lander.
spent all this time here. There's no lands on Jason's side. There's no creatures on Jason's side. Like Jason kept a 5 with a ley line and a hope.
Yeah. So here's a question.
Sure.
Is there a point in which you don't attack with Goblin Guide to try to not give Jason a
No.
land?
No.
There's no point in this game
No.
ever?
Never.
Never? Okay.
Never.
Like,
That
is
card deals 2 damage.
No, so like, but like in a couple
2
turns,
damage.
So, but if you like helix your own creature, maybe no,
Not a chance.
Okay.
Not a chance.
It's working out well for him. His Goblin Guide is working in his favor and not giving Jason any lands. But you'd feel real bad if you like gave him a land and then you drew another land, managed to play both out and somehow equip. But I think that deflecting palm is really going to be the.
Why? No, the Goblin Guide and the Swift Spear are going to get it done.
Meaning that if Jason can find his route back in, right, even if he sweeps up a big creature, I think he's going to have taken so much damage that deflecting palm's going to finish the job.
Oh, goodness. This is going to be near a perfect win.
He draws the land anyway, but he doesn't draw the card underneath it as well. It's kind of the mindset there. So he can't draw 2 lands off of 1 Goblin Guide
But it
attack.
deals 2 damage.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. That's what I was just posing the question: is there a world? No.
Never.
This Boros Charm might just become a double strike at some point.
I didn't come here to block.
Do you double? So you're gonna double strike the Swift Spear. I wonder if you. So here's a route you can do. If he has a bolt, he could bolt his own Swift Spear, and Boros Charm double strike it. So it'll be a 3/4 with double strike. So it'll survive the bolt, and then do 6 damage.
It's the Eidolon that comes down and Jason calls it quits. This is done.
Bogles down the drain.
Bogles loses to
Mario. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So all 3 games, Burn gave themselves a chance to win, and what we went into the matchup going, there's like this is a real bad matchup for him, right? Like he's had a nice day. The run ends here. No, sir. The run does not end here.
We keep going. We keep going ahead. Let's see here. So it is going to be Dan versus Sam. It's going to be black, red, hollow one. This is going into game 3.
I kind of agree with you. I like the bolt himself prowess. Send a message.
It's a bolt. It's a strong play. I'm a big fan of doing that.
Yeah.
I've skull cracked myself.
That's
to
right.
stop someone
I like
from
the double spell where you get to bolt your own creature.
Mm-hmm.